You know, there's a there's a saying that you know more than you think you know, and more than that, you know the answers to your problems. It's just that you don't know that you know half the time. Have you ever been in a situation where you're watching a film and you're thinking, "Oh, what is the name of that actress? Begins with an F. You know, she was in that film with the bloke with the hair, and they did this, and the more you try to think about it, the harder it is to to get the name. Until an hour later, you make yourself a cup of tea. Julia Roberts, that was it. Didn't begin with an F at all. And what it is because there's a part of your mind, and the theory is it's called the pre-conscious part of the mind, that can delve into the subconscious because everything that we've ever learnt gets buried in our subconscious mind. And sometimes it comes into our conscious, but sometimes we keep it in there. We stuff it down, it gets repressed, and then it shows itself. It shows itself through all sorts of different physical ways: high blood pressure, obesity, smoking, drinking, swearing, and all sorts of stuff. Terrible thing. So there's all these different things that we can do, all these symptoms that show, because quite often stuff is stuck in our subconscious mind and we don't release it. Now, if the serious stuff, then you need to see somebody like myself on a one-to-one, and we can do stuff with it. But self-hypnosis can also help release some of these things. Now, some of the stuff we need to do involves visualization. Now, some people, about 2/3 of the population, are quite good at visualization. 1/3 of the population aren't so good, and obviously it's a linear thing. Now, I'm right down the far end of people that struggle to visualize. I really, really do. But it doesn't mean that I can't imagine, because even though somebody can't visualize something, I mean, one of my clients, I get her to imagine she's walking down some steps, blah 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 blah, and she plonks herself down on this chaise lounge, and in her imagination, she can count every stitch on that thing. Now, other people like me really, really struggle to visualise. So if I shut my eyes and think about my daughter, I can see the back of my eyelids. That's it. But I can describe her to you. So if you're like me and you struggle to visualise, don't give up. You can still do this. Ask yourself, when you go in your front door, do you turn your key clockwise or anti-clockwise? When you open up the front door, what's the first thing that you see? What colour's the floor? What colour are the walls? Now, you'll know all this. Imagine a chair. Any old chair. Yeah, what does it look like? So even though you might not be able to see it, you can still imagine it. You can still get the idea. So when we're doing stuff like this and we're asking you to imagine things, so there's a technique with a headache where you imagine the size and the shape and the colour of it. When we ask you to imagine things, doesn't matter if you can't see it spot on, just get the idea.